Greetings, friends, and thanks for joining us for this episode of Profiles in Generosity. I'm Yvonne Lembo at the Episcopal Church Foundation, and Profiles in Generosity is an opportunity for us to highlight for you some inspiring stories from our generosity community. Today, we are honored and delighted to celebrate a significant legacy gift from the Reverend Dr. J. Robert Wright for the academic track of ECF Fellowship Partners Program. Father Wright is an Episcopal luminary, a celebrated church historian who is an integral part of the faculty of General Seminary for decades. And he also was a 1965 alumnus of the ECF Fellowship Partners Program. Father Wright contributed so much to ecumenical dialogue and was instrumental in accords and conversations between the Episcopal Church and the Catholic Church. He was a principal author of the Call to Common Mission, which created a full communion agreement between the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America and the Episcopal Church. So we are honored today to have a group of guests who will bring out more about Father Wright's legacy, show you how the academic fellows continue to impact the church and the world with their work, and let you know a little bit more about the Fellowship Partners Program and opportunities for you to have impact through your generosity to this great work. So I'm pleased to introduce you today to my longtime colleague and friend, Jim Murphy, who now serves as Director of Major Gifts and Planned Giving for Episcopal Relief and Development. And Jim knew Father Wright and will share with us a little bit more about his life and legacy. So Jim, thank you for being with us. Tell us more about Father Wright.
Well, first of all, I'm honored to be back in the ECF circle for a short time. Father Wright was just an amazing academic, as well as someone involved in ecumenism, as you've already said. He also was so proud, quite honestly, to be an ECF fellow and to be one of the first. And because of that pride in that accomplishment, he wanted to continue that into the future. And he wanted to demonstrate to others who are also in the process of either getting a degree or enhancing their knowledge about a particular complex subject, that he wanted to pass this on to future generations. I am honored to talk about Father Wright. I knew him in many ways I was one of his students and wrote many papers for him in church history at General Seminary, one of which he really liked. And other than that, he was also a colleague of mine when I worked at General Theological Seminary as a director of the Master of Arts program. And just from a personal point of view, he was an amazing academic, but he was also just an insightful and warm person who always tried to share his knowledge in a way that lifted others up. And that was so much a part of his work ecumenically, to lift up others and not just highlight himself, although quite honestly, he was usually the center of attention in a room. He was very tall and just a very high intellect. And so that's pretty much all I want to say. He connected so many people throughout the Episcopal Church to the interfaith and ecumenical movement. I felt inspired by him and have been involved in that same movement, writing first an ecumenical book on socially responsible investing and then one on planned giving, along with my colleague Yvonne. So it is just an honor to be here, but it's also an honor to talk about Father Wright. And since I was involved in the process of getting this estate gift, it's just an honor to see it come full circle. Yes. And to see Father Wright's goals accomplished. Yes. That it will fund the future academic work of more amazing academics like himself into long into the future.
Thank you so much, Jim. And so, as I said, we are so grateful for Father Wright's gift that is funding the future. And we have the future here in living color in the person of Francisco Garcia, a 2019 ECF Academic Fellow. And I want to invite my colleague Jacob Sierra, who's a Senior Director of the Fellowship Partners Program, to dialogue with Francisco and tell us more about the Fellowship Partners Program.
Thank you, Ivan. It's a joy to be on this call with you all, and a joy to talk about the Fellows Program, which I think is a jewel of the various programs we have here at ECF. Since Father Wright in 1965, we've had over 60 years of fellows who have offered us who offered the church and enriched the church, which with real tangible ways in which and learnings from a focus of areas of study for academics, for ministerial innovations, and our ministry track fellows. We look to the past and we celebrate the past, and we also use their gifts to help enrich our future. And so we have with us Father Francisco Garcia of the Fellows Class of 2019, who just successfully defended his dissertation, which was partially funded through the fellowship. So, Francisco, would you tell us a bit about what your dissertation covered and kind of what you're up to now?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jacob, and really great to be here with all of you to give thanks for the life witness and the ministry and the intellectual contributions of J. Robert Wright. What a luminary for us, and grateful to be a beneficiary of the generosity of many like J. Robert Wright that helped support me and my family in the first few years of my dissertation journey. And so, yes, I'm originally from Los Angeles, but I moved my family to Nashville, Tennessee for 5 years to pursue this degree in theology and ethics at Vanderbilt University. And my dissertation had to do with what I sort of think of as a grassroots ecclesiology, a liberation-oriented ecclesiology, but how does the church um, show up outside of church? And particularly, I'm interested in how faith shows up in working class Latina immigrant communities as folks organize, do the work of activism and organizing for survival, right? To provide for their families. And so I examined particularly how faith shows up for Latina immigrant workers as they organize for justice in their workplaces and in their communities through through organizations that are outside of the church. So through unions, through immigrant worker centers, community organizing entities. But how faith really is so palpable and powerful in those contexts. And what does it say to us? What does it say to the institutional church about what it means to be and to do church in our present age? And so it was a part ethnographic, part theological, part ethical praxis, and just put it all together. In this, to sort of give life to the voices of working people and a grassroots faith perspective for church.
Thank you. And so now you're back in Los Angeles, correct? And
Yes, I'm
so
back in Los Angeles. Yeah.
what do you find yourself working on now, and kind of where does the work of that dissertation, where is that kind of heading?
So it is eventually, hopefully in the next year and a half or two, it will be a book. So I'll be working to translate the work of a dissertation into a book that is accessible to as wide an audience as possible. I want this in the hands of lay people, of clergy, of organizers and activists, and academics who are interested in this intersection of church, the academy, and the streets. Doing the work of justice and putting our living out the gospel in these really concrete, tangible ways. So that'll be what I work on. I teach courses in theology, ethics, and community organizing for the church at Church Divinity School of the Pacific as an adjunct, and for their call online program. And I also work as at a nonprofit. So I do the work of community building and organizing across many different communities around racial, economic justice, and climate change. And then I do priesting, do Sunday work and help, contribute to the work of justice in in the Episcopal Diocese of Los Angeles. And particularly, I co-lead a ministry called Sacred Resistance, which is an immigrant rights, primarily an immigrant rights-based ministry, but it's really a ministry that stands to proclaim and live out sanctuary for any members of our community that are vulnerable, especially during these challenging times. And so helping equip congregations to provide sanctuary in the broadest sense of that understanding from our faith perspective.
It's so exciting to me to see that the Academic Fellows Program is not an ivory tower proposition, but it has very real, concrete impact on people's lives in ministry today. Jacob, could you tell us more about ECF Fellowship Partners and what's going on with the program now?
Yeah, I'm I'm glad to. So like Father Francisco, ECF has sponsored over 240, I believe, or about, or maybe exactly 240. I forget the number. It changes every year. Fellows, and that includes academic and those working on a ministry project. We have a new track, and currently and there's about 2 to 4 fellows every year, and we're currently still in the middle of the selection process for our 2025 fellows, of which will include a Father J. Robert Wright academic fellow, and we're excited to announce those early in June to the rest of the world. Yeah, so please stay tuned. But yeah, at ECF we really want to prioritize academics, ministry fellows that are doing work and will have a tangible impact and are ready to equip lay and clergy leaders throughout the Episcopal Church to live out the gospel, just like Francisco has been sharing with us today. And a big part of who we look for is those who align with ECF's values, expansive leadership, inclusive leadership, expansive community, racial justice, and creation care. In some way or another, we hope that all of our fellows are touching on these values, and then offering those values to the rest of the church. And so I'm really excited to look at we have a really, really wonderful pool of applicants for 2025, and I'm excited to announce in a few months.
And we're excited to find out too. Well, folks, I'm sure that you have been inspired, and the great news is that you can contribute to the ongoing vitality of this wonderful program of ECF. You can contribute a current gift to ECF Fellowship Partners Program, and you can follow in Father Wright's footsteps and make Fellowship Partners a part of your legacy plan. And I'm excited to let you know that ECF has introduced a new planned giving portal, which you can find on the front of our website on the top left side of our webpage. You'll see a new call to action button called Plan Your Episcopal Legacy. And at that platform, you can create or document your own legacy plan, whatever that plan may be. And of course, we invite you to consider including ECF or fellowship partners as a part of your plan. But whatever your plan is, this site is our free gift to you to help you consider how you would like your legacy to impact the future, both caring for your loved ones and continuing your Episcopal witness even beyond your lifetime. So please check out that button. We'll have a screen right at the end of this where you can get more information and get plugged in. So Jim, Jacob, and Francisco, thank you so much for being with us for this special episode of Profiles in Generosity. And thanks to each one of you for joining us today.